Okay, I'm freaked out. I really bring in some good shit. Not crazy, but you. Definitely valuable, very valuable. Just need to extract. That's all I need to do. No bullshit. Just extract. Yeah. Oh my god, my gear is so good. I really don't want to die now. Holy shit. I'm gonna open this. I'm too scared. I have the best gear. Look at me. I'm a freaking unit. I think I need a silencer on this. Oh yeah, that's what I need. You were with my PC till now. Thank you. Sorry guys, yeah. Maybe more content coming out. I did IRL today actually. I think I wanna do more tomorrow. Fucking scary, dude.
Давай, мочи их! Давай, мочи их! Это что за хрень? Граната тут!
Come on. Oh, don't be sightseeing London. London will be fine. It's different, it's fine. Hell yeah. Lol. I really didn't want to risk it. That's still good. Wait, how many I killed? 3! I didn't realize I did. Oh, with the... a headshot with a grenade. That's an interesting kill. Damn. Okay. Grenade headshot. Alright. Great. Everything. That was some shit. Oh yeah, I need the silencer for this beast. Yeah. Oh yeah. And what else? Slider. I need to change the. Oh yeah, that. And now I can put. Oh, I don't own it, of course. Wait. How do I put the silencer on this? Okay. And no. How do I put the silencer on this? Well. What? Oh, okay. Link search. Barrels. Clip. Wait, I cannot put it? What? Really? I cannot. Glock 18C? put a silencer on 18C. Not currently.
Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video on how to fully mod a Glock. Compensator 3 round mag. You might even go a bit further than that.
Wait. What the fuck? Oh my god. Shit. Hey, maybe not. Okay. Put this, put that down here. Yo, 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 yo. Best weapon? Not really. If it's like far away, it's so difficult to do anything. Only works close by. But then you can run a bit faster with the pistol, I guess. Factory, reserve, custom, woods. No, reserve I hate. I cannot. I don't like big maps. You're gonna be like running around and sniper shot. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hmm. I oh yeah, I got. Oh, I bought. I did everything. I bought a bunch of food today. It was good. Did you see me go out? I'm gonna take a break. Mosin the better. No, I'm kinda over the Mosin. It's very good, but only at a distance. But yeah, I still run Mosin sometimes, just not all the time like before. I'm probably gonna sell the account and make a new one fresh. Because having so much gear doesn't really make me more happy or anything. I'm sure somebody will enjoy it more. And apparently I can sell it for a lot. Because I have so many million, 106. Every day I'm doing a couple million extra, depending how much I play. It's a very good account. Yeah, apparently it's worth about $300. Between 250 and 350. And I'm probably gonna do it earlier, not later, because it's gonna be another wipe. So when it's close to the wipe, nobody wants to buy it. So I cannot do it too late. I need to sell it 2-3 weeks. But it's definitely worth it. If I don't do it, it's lost. Now it's a good time. Because I don't mind starting from zero. Now I know how to get everything. But now I'm like so careful. I don't want to like lose it. I don't want to go down because all they see is like the overall. No, the name can be changed. That's not a problem. That's the problem. You can change your name every month, something like that. You can change your name. So before giving it, I'll change the name and put my one in a new one properly. You can change the name any time. That's not a problem. It's gonna be here. Game right here. You can change it anytime. As long as it's not taken, you can change it. So I just take it, change it before, put it back on my thing, done. No problem. Yeah, no brainer. I'm not sure if it's better with music or without music. Let me know. think it's a little bit quiet, or maybe it's good. Maybe it's too quiet. I can't tell if it's too quiet. I put half. Or better without. I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to every time. But yeah, definitely need to sell it. Or I'll buy another one. I've been saying I want to take a break, make the proper the room better. I still didn't make it. I'll guess I'll do it one of these days. Let me check it. Really, it's gonna be ready so soon. 10 minutes. I wanna go and cook. Eat some more. Yeah, I would like to do the IRL more. It's fun. I like walking around. As long as I stay away from people, shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I could go live from the phone. I'm making some meat. Yeah, actually today was a bit longer than usual, but I don't think anybody was on it. I still have the same problem. I have only one phone. I mean, I have a second one, but okay. I need to figure out some kind of job to do. I missed the job, like just doing like 90 pound a day was driving was good. I guess I could find it again. They always need driving job now to deliver, but ideally if I do something online, but that's always like how it's gonna be. Better start with something that is like for sure. But yeah, definitely need to take a break from the computer. I'm gonna leave it like this with the music playing, because I feel it's not helping out. Me doing like super long computer stream is not helping. I don't think it's helping. Yeah, yeah. When I work, I like to do work longer hours. Make as much money as possible in as many days. Yeah, I don't mind working. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had more saved up. I know I just need to go back to it, save up some more. We're doing so good every day, and now it's like I keep going like this. It's not helping, Alex. Thank you, sir. I love you too. And yeah, I'll figure it out, you know. Always glad to see you. If you don't see me here, I'm always on Discord. I mean, Discord is a bit. Yeah, I guess I should put it on the phone. I don't think I have it on the phone yet. Yeah, I think Instagram actually is a good one to text if it's the stream is not on, I guess. That's the one I see the fastest usually. But yeah, I check Twitch as well, so even a Twitch message. But if I'm not streaming, sometimes I don't open Twitch, so yeah, I think Instagram is the best. I'll try to add the Discord to the phone as well. Figure it out, I'm always with you, support you and everything. Thank you so much. It's great. Yeah, we've seen a lot together, it's great. Instagram, cause Discord not having, yeah, Instagram is the best. Yeah, no matter if I even put the Discord on the thing, sometimes you just disconnect. Cause if you just keep streaming and it's like, yeah, it's very easy to get caught up just being on the computer all the time and streaming and being like, oh, okay, I'm streaming for so long on the computer, but I don't think it's helping as much as it could. I could do more IRL, it probably would help more. Because people that don't know me and don't see me in IRL, they just see the thing. It's like, you know, it's very hard to figure out who is this guy even. Like, it's hard to make friends. Like when it's not an IRL, I think it's just a screen and they don't know you. It's like, who is this guy? I mean, there is some ways around it, I guess, but probably more IRL would be good. Even if it's not gonna be 24/7. Maybe I'll leave the computer on. I fine, but it's not gonna be disconnecting. Okay, I'm gonna do a very quick pushing the scab, and right after I'm gonna go cook. I made some instant noodle yesterday, they were so delicious. I was like, how is it so simple? It was so good. I think it was better than pasta even. I mean, it's very different. And when you put like the right soup and you make like the right proportion and you put like the nice spice in there, the simple was it noodle soup from the packet is actually very good. I was surprised. I put the right amount of pepper in there, put some of this, some of that. I made the water not too pretty strong and stuff. Oh wait. I don't hear anything? Oh, now I hear it. Okay. Okay, so they're gonna go aggressive because I wanna go cook. Just because.
Идите, не бегуна!
Shit. I dropped my thing by mistake. Shit. I have no ammo. Fuck this. I dropped everything by mistake. The rig, I dropped the rig. Shit. That was good. What the fuck? I think I put it, but it was too quick. I dropped it. Shit. That was good though. If I stay in the inventory a bit longer, I would have been dead. That's fine. Got nothing, but that was fun. I got experience. I think I killed like 3 or 4. But yeah, I said I was going aggressive. I was not expecting to survive. But then I had 0 ammo, like literally 0, 0, and nothing. Didn't have anything in my pocket. Because I put all my ammo inside the rig, but then the other guy appeared and I didn't have time to take it up from that guy. I put my mags inside his thing because it was a better one. So from my one I put it down into his so they can swap it, and then I didn't make it. Can you get it again? No. It's a scab. It's not insured and it's gone, but it's all good. Because if I stayed the time to take it, then the guy would have run on me too quick and I'd be dead now without anything at all, so it's good this way. Believe this one. At least we're alive with 2 weapons. Yes. This. I found a new way. The small bags. Oh my god. Every small bag has another case, like the 2 million each one, with more stuff in it. I have 3 like this, 4 bags. It's insane. I used to use this one, the bigger one, and then I realized I had 2 each. Then I realized I can put the smaller one, and I can put 4 of them. Look. Each one of these has another one of these for 2 million. And each one is full with stuff. Like top. Yeah, I call them quads. I have 3 of them. Quad. Each one has 4 of them. Yeah, so it's even more compact. See, I used to have this one like all the way like this. Now it's only these 2, this. I mean, this one just because it's easier now to manage like that. But yeah, definitely need to sell it. Oh, the hideout, I turned it off. I was supposed to switch it on. 4 armors in each. Now I have so many armors. Yep. More than I can count at this point. Each of these has 4 of them. Each of the 4 has 4 or more armors each. Four armors time 4 of this times 3 time. It's 4 times 4 times 3. That's how many armor I have. Four times 4. Yeah, 4 in this one. Yeah, it's a big number. Anyway, a lot. Yeah. So yeah, it's going for sale. We'll see what's up. I mean, we'll see. All the gold here. All our Rolexes here. Bitcoins. Graphics cards. All the expensive stuff is here. All the horses. Vase. LCD. Fuel condition. Got them all. I got them all. Yep, cool stuff. I'm gonna leave it here like the old times. I still remember this account. But yeah, first of the year. Where was it? Yeah, right here. Very top. 1/01/2020. 4 months later. 12 days and 4 months. I mean, 3 and 12 days. Is that? No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 2020 on the discount sale. Huh. They never shoot you in the head on. HP healed. 88 fractures. We survived 308 times. 52% of the time. Survive. 25 in a row. That's the 600-kilometer travel. Pretty cool. I bought chips for a couple days. I eat them all. I can never put chips away. As long as I have them, I'm gonna eat them. It tells all. They're just so easy to eat, and I need not to cook. But yeah, I'm gonna disconnect for a little bit. Just gonna leave the thing with music, stuff like that. I'm checking 100 times if I turn it off. Yeah, I turn it off. 5 minutes. I don't have chips. Yeah, I eat 2 packs. The big one. Shit. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy 2, it's gonna last me longer. Should have known. I think if I bought 3, I would have finished them anyway. It's just something you cannot... unless I put it in the other room, maybe? If they're in this room, I'm gonna just keep eating them until they are not over. Just too easy. Yeah. Moscow chips. Yeah. I mean the regular, nothing spectacular. But when it's all you have, they're gonna be very delicious. I mean they're fine. They were not Doritos, the normal stuff. But still, it's like it's too easy to eat. I bought only 1 beer. You already probably know where that is already. Gone. But yeah, I think I'm gonna switch to have better streams, but shorter streams. I'm just gonna prepare, do everything, get ready, and then go live when I'm properly outside. Maybe be out a couple hours. Yeah, I had 1. That almost doesn't even count. It was gone almost before I sat down. One beer, what is gonna do? Oh, you see, that's the same thing with beer. If I bought 4 beers, I probably would have been gone. I only bought 1. Well, now it's gone. Very different effect. Yeah, like this guy was telling me. And I knew it for a while, and it's very good at saying that. Oh shit, this is him. Oh no.
Welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to advice from CBC's channel, and we're going to look for videos that give advice on money, and we'll be critiquing those. So we're going to skip people's budgets, and instead we're going to go right for the throat of any video that looks like it's going to try to give us money advice. We'll tear it apart. First one here that seems to be interesting, that has a 70% like ratio. Kevin O'Leary, don't ever buy a car. All right, let's hear it.
You're thinking about buying a car. Let me give you a new idea.
Where is this going?
There's so many shared ride services today, even when you have to leave the city. You can rent one. Cars.
Are we seriously about to go down the rabbit hole of you shouldn't own a car because you should use rideshare services? Most people have to commute and get to work every single day, and they got to get to grocery stores, whatever. You think they want to be in the back of an Uber doing chit chat every single day? Oh, no. I mean, Uber's great and Lyft's great for certain purposes, but not every freaking day, and that gets expensive too. I mean, maybe at that point you get the Uber 5% off card. But even then, it still gets expensive.
Cars cost a fortune in maintenance and
A fortune.
the amortization, which means as they go down in value, you're losing money. Let's say
Is he seriously talking to like a 5-year-old here? Really? Cars cost money? Cars have to have maintenance and they go down in value and they have maintenance? What? It's this kind of hyperbole where they're just making these like blatant, statements that are so obvious, these like truisms, and then they kind of exaggerate the impact of them. That frustrates me because it's like, I get it. You want us to use rideshare services, but don't tell me you want us to use rideshare services because cars have maintenance and they depreciate over time. Like, this is where I like just getting a really high quality Toyota or something that is very, very reliable that you could keep for 7 or 8 years. I did that with my Toyota Prius, and look, the Prius was popular in California. If I was living in Florida, I would have gotten like a Toyota Tundra or something like that because that's what's normal in the area there. But I'd get something that was either new and then keep it forever, or used, a couple of years used, and then milk that forever. There's got to be more to this argument.
I use my phone to call Uber or Lyft, and they take me around the city. I save a fortune. I feel good about it. I hate cars. Even if you use a car every day to get to work, it's still cheaper to use a shared ride service because you can choose.
Are you kidding me? Let's do some really quick math here. Okay, so I just pulled up a car loan calculator. If you bought a car and you got it financed, let's say you financed the whole thing for 25 grand at 4% interest for 60 months. That means you're paying $460 in principal and interest every single month. So $460 plus insurance of, let's say, $70 plus registration of, say, $30 puts you at $560 per month, or $18.67 per day. So you're telling me commuting to work every single day, and going to the gym, and going to the bank, and going to groceries, and dropping the kids off at preschool, and picking up the kids from preschool, all of this is somehow going to be cheaper than $18 per day? Even if I threw in another $100 a month for gas and maintenance, it's gonna change my cost of ownership like $3 a day. It's like, bro, what are you smoking, Kevin? No.
Of luxury you want. You can share the ride with somebody else. I know people that
I don't want to share it with anybody else. And when I'm in the car, sometimes I just want to be alone. Like, I just want to, think to myself. Like, the last thing I want to do is sit there and have chit chat. That's seriously the last thing I want. I'm the kind of person that sees the little Uber thing say, your driver is known for great conversation. And I'm like, can I cancel the ride? Okay, like, sometimes I just want to be in my own box.
if you're working in a city where you can either take the subway or basically use a shared service, try both.
This is a little unreasonable. I mean, obviously, if you're in Manhattan, you use the subway and you walk, or you use an Uber to get around. But the median home price in Manhattan is $1 million. So I think most people aren't living in Manhattan, and most people would rather have a car that one day they will own free and clear, and then your payment is...
Yeah, but in America it's different, because America is very spread out, so you kind of need a car there. Not every city is like that. He's talking very American.
I just got confronted by Ben Mala, and in today's video, we're going to react to his reaction of my reaction to the interview that he had with Graham Stephan. Now, in case you're not familiar, Ben Mala is probably one of the most entertaining real estate moguls to watch on the internet. In fact, he runs a series called Life for Sale, and I highly encourage you to check out his channel, Ben Mala. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through Ben Mala's response to my reaction video. Then we're going to see if it's even remotely possible for Ben Mala to alone create the wealth he says he has created. He's 53 years old and says he has an over $200 million net worth. Let's see if that's possible with investing in real estate. Let's jump right into the part that must have inspired Ben Mala to respond or sort of confront the information that I provided in yesterday's video. First things first, if you have not yet seen it, do check it out because there are probably 25 to 30 really solid real estate and investing principles, even if you don't invest in real estate, that you could take away. But the big issue came up with my skepticism over how much net worth Ben Mala was able to create as fast as he has. See, Ben Mala has always been a symbol of somebody that came from nothing and generated massive amounts of wealth. In fact, there are stories of his essentially life of crime at 17 years old, and now by 53 years old, stories suggest he has over $200 million as a net worth. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I always try to read between the lines and look a little bit deeper than what initially just appears as fact. So when Ben Mala sort of glossed over how he transitioned from single families, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes to all of a sudden being involved in hotels and apartment buildings, I thought there was some very important detail missing. So the first thing I did is I went to his website, and that's where I realized that he runs a property management company, and when you read it, it sort of implies that they invest other people's money as well. In fact, one part of his website specifically says that their goal is to maximize the value of their clients' investments and aggressively generate wealth amongst our business partners. Now, I read that as they'll invest other people's money, which is what a lot of people do. It's very normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. It would just make sense that, oh, okay, sure, if you're controlling $200 million in real estate, it makes sense that you can control that real estate by 53 years old, coming from nothing, if you're investing other people's money. Now, in the video, I did very clearly at least 3 times qualify that this sort of conclusion I was drawing that Ben invests other people's money was speculation again. That's my guess. Now, I could be wrong. Well, first things first, mad props to Ben Mala for responding, which ultimately just benefits people watching because you get more perspective. Well, now let's go ahead and analyze 3 of his comments and break them down to see if it's actually possible for Ben Mala to have gone from a $0 net worth to over $200 million. Oh, and of course, before I comment on Ben's wealth, make sure to use coupon code 10x2020 for the ad that I worked for and retired him in 2005. I like your style and great ability to communicate. Keep it up. That's actually a nice comment, even though he calls me out and says, hey, false speculating, which I'm glad he said that because it definitely hits on the fact that I said, hey, I'm just speculating on this part. I could be wrong. So I'm grateful that he's clarifying that where I thought I could be wrong, I was wrong. And I'm always happy to admit when I'm wrong. The rest of the video is still really good though. But let's break this down for a minute. If Ben Mala started investing at, let's say, 20 years old, where he bought that first deal for $27,000 and then fixed it up and turned it into something that was worth $150,000, which is very similar to the wedge deals I talk about on this channel and teach you how to buy and how to invest in, right? Anyway, how does he go from a $0 net worth at 20 to $200 million at 53? Well, I guarantee you this, it has to be more than an index fund. In fact, let's go ahead and see how much more than an index fund Ben Mala would have had to have earned on his money to come up with $200 million in net worth by 53 years old. So right here is something I've shown off before. It's a tool that I use. Welcome to another Meet Kevin. I call it my dream. Homeownership in America is broken, and even though the New York Times tells us that the average net worth of a homeowner is 36 times that of a tenant, I'm going to share with you 4 ways American homeownership keeps most homeowners broke, and 7 ways wealthy people get rich through real estate. And keep in mind, the real estate investing courses 20% off using coupon code SHORTREDFIN ends today. Yes, I extended it 1 day because I was out of town. So yes, go down below, use that coupon code. It expires today. Making money through homeownership and real estate investing is not for everyone. There are some massive pitfalls, and I'm gonna go through the most popular 4 reasons why most people stay broke with homeownership, and they might surprise you. First things first, the agency real estate model is highly incentivized to encourage you to sell your real estate or your house when you move. I personally think this is a massive financial mistake. As a real estate broker and having helped people buy and sell houses for over 10 years, I've found that even when people have equity built up in their home, when it comes time for them to move from the home they're in now and move into the next home they want to move into, usually what happens is they do a contingent sale, which means in order for them to buy their new home, they have to sell their old one. And usually what ends up happening is they have to underprice their old home, they have to overpay for their new home, and then they pay massive selling costs and acquisition costs to make the transition. This, in my opinion, erodes a lot of net worth that people gain by owning real estate. Selling to just move into a different property, in my opinion, is a terrible idea. And anytime a client comes to me with this scenario, I always encourage them to consider renting out their first property, keeping it as an investment, and then moving, because that helps eliminate a lot of the loss that happens when you move as a homeowner. Now, even if you're not a homeowner yet, this is important for you to consider, because if you're looking for a real estate agent, it's really important for you to find a real estate agent that not only invests in real estate themselves, but can help you learn about real estate investing. If they don't invest themselves, it's difficult for them to say, well, here's what I would consider doing if I were in your shoes. And that's very, very valuable. So even if you don't own real estate yet, try to do whatever you can to find a real estate agent who also invests in the deals that you're looking to buy. But always keep this example in the back of your mind. About 12 months ago, a client came to me and said, hey Kevin, should I sell this $550,000 house? I would have made about $13,750 selling that property. Instead, I went through the scenario and said, hey, if you sell and you go through this sell and buy process, it's going to cost you a lot. Why don't you consider renting out your first property? They ended up renting out their first property, and they let me manage it for them. I ended up collecting a $1,000 management fee, and I worked my butt off to make $100 a month after that, managing the property and the tenants for them. That is, I forewent on $13,750 in a matter of 2 months to make $1,000 and then $100 residually thereafter. So you can see the incentives in the real estate agency model are such that you should keep selling your real estate. But let me be the one agent to tell you, you're oftentimes better off not selling your real estate. Unless, of course, you're taking advantage of investment strategies like 1031 tax-deferred exchanges where you're just moving on to better deals. The second reason most homeowners stay broke is because of the construction industry. I hate to say it, but a lot of the construction industry is based around the idea that if you spend $1, you might get 20 cents back in value on your house. And that's a terrible investment. I would never want to put $1 in to get less than a quarter back. That's terrible. Unfortunately, that's
Вот он! Нормас, нормас. Охуенно, сейчас поживимся. Опы!
50 out of 10. The subcorpse. See you, man. What the fuck? 700k? 900k for this key? Damn. Shit. KSM, huh? I already had one. Okay. Did it? Damn. There's not too many to go around, eh? Must be some epic shit. Wait, I gotta do more IRL. I don't know, there's something. It's like I'm a bit tired. Not tired. Have more energy. Let's up it down. What the hell? Oh, nice. Fucking hosting, bro. Thank you, thank you. Yo, what the fuck? Here you go.
Вон он упырь! Да вот, вот он! Служивый! Вот он! Штаны обсуждали! Вали, вали, хуесос! Кройся, пацаны! Я здесь! Подкоп, нахуй, понял? Левый коронный, правый похоронный. Упырь! Вот ты шалава! Прямо держи! Граната тут! Негодяй! Гад, иди сюда, ты говно, жопа! Сука ты, блядь, не упырь, блядь, гнида, блядь! Всем залетные! А вот тут кореш мой бывал. Понятно, понятно.
We are here in Omaha, Nebraska this morning with Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. He's just released his 55th annual shareholder letter to the shareholders over this weekend, and this is actually the 13th year that we are now in Omaha talking to him after that letter. This is a show that we call Ask Warren, so that people can write in their own questions to Mr. Buffett after they've read that shareholder's letter. But obviously this morning, given the news, there are a lot of other questions that people have concerning the stock market. Let's jump right into it with Mr. Buffett, who is here with us right now. And Warren, thank you for being here. I want to talk about the letter. Obviously, one of the things that you touch on in the letter is when people should be buying stocks. We're going to dig into a lot of it, but when you're looking at the futures down about 818 points this morning, I think probably the first thing viewers want to hear from you are your thoughts on what's happening with the coronavirus, if this is a reason to panic, and if you are worried about this.
Well, I don't know I have any special thoughts beyond the news on the coronavirus. The very first day I bought stocks was March 12th, 1942. And the stocks were down about 2% that day, as it turned out. Unfortunately, I bought in the morning, so when I came home in the evening, and my dad told me the execution price, it was down 2%. If you're buying a business, and that's what stocks are to businesses. In fact, people will be better off if they say, I bought a business today, not a stock today, because that gives them a different perspective on it. Then, presumably, if you buy a farm, if you buy an apartment house, if you buy a business, you don't own it for 10 or 20 or 30 years.
Пацаны, да ебашь его! Куда он проебался? Нехороший? Куда он делся?
And the real question is has the 10-year or 20-year outlook for American businesses changed in the last 24 hours or 48 hours? And you'll notice many of the businesses we own, partially own. American Express, we've owned it for 20 years. Coca-Cola, we've owned it for 40 years. Those are businesses, and you don't buy or sell your business based on today's headlines. And if it gives you a chance to buy something that you like, and you can buy it even cheaper, then it's your good luck, basically.
Although there are a lot of people who look at the market and they say, look, I want to buy, but I don't want to buy when the market's sitting at new highs, when it's been hitting new records every day. Maybe it's off 800 points this morning, but maybe there's more of a decline to come because the effect of the coronavirus is going to be an impact on the global economy. IMF said that over the weekend. You are going to see weakness as not only China, but other countries try and address this. You're right, it may not change things over the 5 or 10 year span of things, but if I think that I can buy something for potentially 10% cheaper, maybe more than that if I wait a week or a month, maybe that's what I'm sitting around.
Well, if you think that, then you're going to get fabulously rich if you're right. All you have to do is just keep buying at 10-day intervals and keep taking your 10-day prediction. If I knew what the market was going to do, obviously, but you don't. I don't think anybody knows what the market's going to do. I think you do know whether you're making an intelligent purchase at a given price. Everybody, when they buy a stock, if you're going to buy, say, General Motors that has 1,400,000,000 shares out, you should be able to take a yellow pad like you have there, and on one page, say, let's say it's selling for 30. It isn't selling that low, but that'd be 42 billion. You should say, I am buying the General Motors company for $42 billion because, and you should get it on a piece of paper. And then if you want to have a separate piece of paper, it says, I think I know what the stock market's going to do, so I know whether it'll be higher or lower in it. But you don't. You don't have that.
But if I worry that the economy is going to slow down, not just for the quarter, but for the year, that would impact how many cars I think they might be able to sell or even produce.
I'll guarantee you cars are going to slow down someday. In 1932, General Motors had 19,000 dealers. That's more than all the auto dealers in the United States today. There are only 125 million people then, but they had 19,000 dealers. They produced or sold, and there was 1 month, I think, when they sold less than 1/10 of a car, right at 1/10 of a car per dealer. That was a terrific time to buy General Motors. and forget about the market. If you can predict the market, you don't need to read balance sheets. You don't need to read anything. You certainly can't predict the market by reading the daily newspaper. That is for sure. And you certainly can't predict the market by listening to me. But you're buying businesses. And if you had planned to buy a local service station yesterday and it was closing day, I don't think you'd tear your hair out or anything like that. You'd have already looked at where it was located and the contract it had with the suppliers and made a decision on competition. People, because they can make decisions every second in stocks, whereas they can't with farms, they think an investment in stocks is different than an investment in a business or an investment in a farm or investment in an apartment house. But it isn't. If you get your money's worth in terms of future earning power over the next 10 or 20 or 30 years, you're going to have made a good investment. And you can't pick them from day to day. If you can do that, you can, well, I haven't met anybody yet that knows how to do it.
You made a point of that in the letter this year where you highlighted a book that was written by Edgar Lawrence Smith back in 1924. And you said until he came along, nobody really realized the compound interest effect of buying stocks, not just buying businesses, but buying stocks themselves.
Yeah. Edgar Lawrence Smith changed the world with that book, and the people have forgotten all about it now. Although in the 1920s, it became more and more gospel as the boom went on. But Edgar Lawrence Smith set out to write a book on bonds versus stocks. And he said he went in with the idea that bonds would be a better investment in times of deflation and stocks would be a better investment in times of inflation. And the first line of his book was to say that he'd been wrong. But he had enough sense to look at his evidence. I think Darwin said if you found evidence that was contrary to what you already believed, write it down in 30 minutes or your mind will just block it out. I mean, people have a great resistance to new evidence. And he said, if a stock yields 4% and a bond yields 4%, which was what he was talking about then, the stock was going to outperform the bonds because there were retained earnings that were building beyond that yield. And that had been true for a long, long time, but nobody paid any attention to it. We don't get rich on our dividends that we receive, although we're happy to receive them. We get rich on the fact that the retained earnings are used to build new earning power, repurchase shares, which increases your ownership in the company. And Berkshire has retained earnings ever since we started. That's the only reason Berkshire's worth a lot more, is we retain earnings.
That led Keynes to actually say that this was an important book. People paid attention to it, but you're right, it added to the frenzy that built up to 1929.
Well, that is true, because you can get, old boss Ben Graham told me very early on, you get more trouble with a good idea than a bad idea, because the good idea works. I mean, it's a good idea to buy a home, for example, and then people go crazy sometimes. The good idea works, and it works, and it works. Stocks work out better than bonds most of the time. And after a while, people forget that there were some other limiting conditions. With Edgar Lawrence Smith's book, it was that when bonds yield the same as stocks, which was the case then, that stocks are going to outperform because they have this retained earnings. So stocks started going up in the 20s, and all of a sudden they were selling at 5 or 6 times the prices as when he bought the book. And the original correct perception on his part had experienced changing conditions, but people just looked. They got their confirmation through stock prices, and that's what happens in bull markets. People start out thinking stocks are cheap, and then they start thinking stocks have gone up. and a stock can be a good buy or a bad buy. A bond can be a good buy or a bad buy. It depends on price.
But that leads us to today. I mean, if his premise was that stocks are always going to be a better investment than bonds, that's kind of what you hear today, which we've been hearing for a while, is Tina, there is no alternative, right? You have to buy stocks because bond yields are so low, because interest rates are so low.
Well, if you look at the present situation, we've talked about this before, that you get more for your money in stocks than bonds. That doesn't have to be the case. I mean, but it's usually been the case in America, very usually been the case. And if you buy a 30-year bond today with a yield 2%, you're paying 50 times earnings for an investment where the earnings can't go up for 30 years. Now, if somebody said, I want to sell you a stock that's at 50 times earnings and the earnings can't go up for 30 years, you'd say that doesn't sound very good. Stocks are way better than 30-year bonds. I mean, that's clear, and that's one of the alternatives people have. People really have 3 basic alternatives: short-term cash, which is an option of doing something later on; long-term bonds, or long-term stocks. And stocks are cheaper than bonds.
Charlie said recently, Charlie Munger, the vice chairman at Berkshire Hathaway, had his daily journal meeting just a couple of weeks ago. And at that meeting, he said that there's a lot of wretched excess out there and that there's a lot of trouble coming as a result. Do you agree with that?
There's always trouble coming. Yeah, there was trouble coming in 1942 when I bought that first stock, all kinds of trouble. The Philippines were going to fall pretty soon. There was all kinds of trouble in 1949. There was trouble, certainly trouble in 2008 when I wrote an article for the New York Times. I said trouble is coming, but I said buy stocks.
Would you repeat that this time? If trouble's coming, would you still say buy stocks right now?
I would say buy stocks if you get enough for your money. And, you know, we buy a few stocks, but we don't look at, we're not buying the stock market. We're saying, I am buying, let's say American Express. We own American Express. You know, there's 815 million shares out and sells it. This morning's 126 or something like that. So it's selling for roughly $100 billion. Now, the real question is whether the company's worth more or less than $100 billion. It isn't what the stock is going to do tomorrow or next week or next month.
You said just a few minutes ago when we asked you on Worldwide Exchange, right now Berkshire Hathaway is a net buyer of stocks. You are in a net buying position?
We've been a net buyer of stocks, or I've actually been a personal net buyer of stocks ever since I was 11, every year. There's been 15 American presidents in my lifetime, more than a third. I've lived under a third of the life. I didn't buy stocks under Hoover. I was only about 6 months old then. But there have been 7 Republicans after that and 7 Democrats. I bought stocks under every one of them. Now, I haven't bought stocks every day. There have been a few times I thought stocks were really quite high. And I've even written an article once or twice, but that's very seldom.
But you wrapped up your partnership at one point.
I wrapped
too,
up my partnership once.
because
of
you
that.
thought it was too expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is not a time like that?
We own $240 billion worth of stocks. Now, we look at that as $240 billion worth of businesses that we own parts of. But I love owning those businesses.
You've also got more than $125 billion in cash sitting around.
Yeah, well, we'd like to buy more businesses.
We are here, Warren, with you at Berkshire Hathaway's headquarters building. This is upstairs in the room that's called the Cloud Room. And this is a room where you often take students to kind of talk to them about questions they have when they come to visit you. You also do some other things up here, too, other presentations.
Yeah, I had students here for dozens of years. And for many years, 40 schools would come in. They'd come in groups of 8. At 5 days, I'd spend a year. And they come from all over the world. We had them from Peru, we had them from China, we had them from Israel. And we had a good time always. Again, I've given it up now, but I started teaching when I was 21, and when I got to about 88, I thought, I'll take a rest.
Well, there are a lot of questions that are coming in from viewers that have been hitting here today. They're waking up this morning looking at the stock market indicated down by almost 800 points for the Dow. We're actually off our worst levels of the morning, which is something to say when you're still looking at the Dow down by about 786 points. But people have a lot of questions about the economy. They're wondering what's happening right now, particularly with the coronavirus out there. You have a lot of economic data at your fingertips because not only are the many businesses that Berkshire owns, but the businesses you own pieces in. What are you seeing right now around the globe?
Well, it affects various businesses. I would say that I received commentary. I get some commentary monthly, but from almost all of the companies, and a good many of them had some comment about how it was affecting them, and however it was affecting them at that time, I'm sure it's accentuated. But they were affected by tariffs, they're affected by taxes, they're affected by, the most thing is they're affected by competitors and supply and demand over time. And I don't have the faintest idea what our businesses will be doing 6 months from now or 12 months from now. I do think that not only our businesses, but American business generally will be doing fabulously better 30 years from now, 20 years from now. And the long term is in my view, is very easy to predict in a general way, but in an important way. I don't think there's any way to predict what the stock market will do 10 minutes from now, 10 days from now, or 10 months from now. So I work on what I think I'm able to do, and as desirable as it might be to know what was going to happen 10 minutes from now, that's just not something I'll ever be able to master. So fortunately, I can come to a pretty firm conclusion that 20 or 30 years from now, America's business, and probably over the world, will be far better than it is now.
What are the momentary implications that you've seen from coronavirus? What's an example of a business?
Well, an example, for example, we have maybe 1,000 Dairy Queen franchises in China here, and they're just treat only, so they're the older type now with food. But a great number of them were closed, but the ones that were open weren't doing any business to speak of. And Apple is, I mean, our much bigger holding is Apple. We own 5.6% of Apple, and the company came out and said that it's affecting not only its stores, but all kinds of things, supply chain. And I find that certain of our companies have got supply chain arrangements that are being affected by this that I didn't even know had those.
Like what?
Well, I got one from Johns Manville the other day, for example. You wouldn't normally think of them as having a big supply chain, but Shaw Carpets or you name it. I'll guarantee you that a very significant percentage of our business is one way are affected by, but they're being affected by a lot of other things too. And the real question is where are those businesses going to be in 5 or 10 years? They'll have ups and downs. Our candy business is a wonderful business, but it loses money 7 months out of the year. But the nice thing is Christmas comes every year.
When you look at the economy and how things were kind of chugging along, let's say beginning of this year,
yeah,
when things first picked up, how would you gauge the U.S. economy at that
point?
Well,
it's strong, but a little softer than it was 6 months ago. But that's over a broad range of business. You look at car loadings, rail car loadings, that's moving goods around. And there again, that was affected by the tariffs too, because people front-ended all kinds of things, always a lot of variables.
Ублюдок, мать твою, а ну иди сюда, говно собачье. Вон он! Вон он, сука! Давай, пошел! Гнида! Понял, блядь? Давай, мочи их! Ебать его!
Опачки.
Вон, вон, вон! Вон он, сука! Кройся! Валим! Стороны! Валим! Граната! Вот он! Куда? Есть кто нет? Ты куда пошел? Вон он, упырь! Да ты чё там пиздишь? Нормально живем, пацаны. Вот! Граната тут! Да понятно, понятно. Вон он, сука! блядь?
Ничего, скупчику все продам, заживем. Понятно.
Вышел, блин, за хлебушком. Пацаны, сейчас накроют нас!
Ты куда?
Ты чё там, бля, вопишь, упырь? Граната тут! Рука! Сука! Ребра, блин, все отбили. Валим! В стороны! Упырь!
Да вот! Вон он!
Вали хуесоса! Граната! Граната!
Понял.
Что ты хуйня? Понятно, вот сука!
Офицер. Вон он, блядь, вон он, ебашь его! Граната тут! Вразумил! Вон он, сука! Вон он! Вон он, сука! Охуенно, сейчас поживимся! Граната! Граната! Как барыгам, а потом по бабам. Буду бить аккуратно, но... Да вот он! Понятно. Гнида! Ебать, парика! А, вот тут друган мой бывал, точно. Граната! Граната! Вон он! Ебать его! Вот он! Граната тут! Граната! Ох, ёб, граната! Пацаны, осуждаем его!
ноги и
Хуйло, тварь! А ты хуйло, ты конец тебе, блядь!
Ты засранец вонючий, мать твою, а! Ну иди сюда, попробуй! Я тебя сам трахну, ублюдок! Анонист чертов! Будь ты проклят! Иди, идиот, трахай тебя! Говно собачье! Жлоб вонючий!
Да вот!
Да вот!
Вот он! О, кеп! Как барыгам, а потом по бабам. Вон он, сука!
Вон он, сука!
Ну, блядь, ебать его!
Валим в стороны!
Кепка, кепка! Вали кепку! Граната тут!
Блядь, его!
Граната!
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 Граната тут! Вон он! Вон он! Вон!
Потоп, нахуй, понял?
Вот он!
Вон он, сука!
Вон он! Все сбили нас! Пацаны, сейчас закроем!
Ёб, граната!
Вон он! Вон он, блядь, ебать его! Кепка ебаная! Ебать кипарика! Вон он! Пацаны, сейчас накрою! Вон он, блядь, ебать его!
Вот он! Граната, граната! Понятно. Скорость села уже неплохо, а? Понятно.
Блядь, снимись!
Тут, короче, друган мой бывал.
Ах ты, ебаная!
Давай, мочи их!
Блядь, снимись!
Сделай нахрен, вылезай!
Ах ты хер ебучий!
Короче, тебе служивый!
Вали, вали, хуй! Скажи, сука! Сердилина! Девка! Сердилина!
Зачем, блядь, чё?
Вон он! Шалава!
Вот петух. Да ты чё там пиздишь? Гнида! Ну и что тут за хуйня? А ты петуха! Служивый на! Вон он, блядь, ебать его! Хуйло, вот хуйло! Конец тебе! Упырь!
ебаная! Ебашки парика! Грязь давай, пошел! Кому тут? Чики-брики, пальчик выки.
If you canceled the subscription, Kevin.
Hey everyone, meet Kevin here. Today we're gonna talk about something very serious and entirely different from anything I've been talking about in my last 20 videos. This right here is probably the biggest problem with Tesla stock right now, and it's not good. Well folks, it's official. Today Whoa! Oh my god! Hey everyone, meet Kevin here. Wow, what a start to the morning. Boris Johnson goes to the hospital. The IMF says we're in a recession. The CEO of Chase, Jamie Dimon, says this is going to be a very bad recession. And Donald Trump says that we should brace for the worst week yet. And guess what the stock market's doing? Everything's green and everyone's partying, yeah! Because that's the insanity of the market. I mean, I like to believe that, no, Kevin, come on. The market tries to anticipate what's happening. This is old news to the market. The market says, well, if this is gonna be the worst week, the next week's gonna be better, and we're building in that pricing for next week. Fine, I get that. It's just ironic. It feels weird. But I guess if you're getting loaded up with bad news on one side, you may as well get some good news somewhere. And we've got some green stocks today, which in a twisted way might also be bad news because I wanted to buy some more stocks today. Instead, I'm going to tell you about purchases that I made on Thursday and Friday, which were both red days, so I could catch you up with what I did with my stocks Thursday and Friday. I also, by the way, I made a little video that was probably overly negative for Tesla. That was mostly geared to people who are more interested in making profits on trading rather than long-term buyers. Except I realize that most of y'all who watch my channel are long-term buy and hodlers. So I apologize for that because I too am a buy and hodler. Just a quick note if you didn't see that video. The premise was I believe there are going to be opportunities that are going to see more of kind of that current punishment in pricing and a quicker kind of V recovery that are not Tesla. I think Tesla is going to see a lot more of that U kind of longer recovery than some of the opportunities you might have in other stocks. Obviously, and I said this in the video, this stuff is speculating. I get it. It's placing bets, it's making bets, it's short-term thinking. I got it. But I wanted to clarify that because I don't know that Tesla's gonna see that V shape, mostly because of some of the fundamentals that I see. But again, different video. Let's now just focus on the stocks that I bought on Thursday and Friday, yeah, and also the movement that I made with stocks, because I just moved a very large portion of stock money. So I'll break down the purchases I made, and then I want to show you why I made a certain move and how it could benefit you dramatically as well. So kind of interesting opportunities here. It's a crazy, crazy time though. Let's get into the purchases first though. Let's knock that out and catch y'all up. Oh, and quick interjection. Some of y'all wanted to know if I have life insurance, especially Lauren, because she has asthma and there's kind of like a respiratory pandemic going on right now. The answer is yes. We actually just signed her up for life insurance, and me. I've got a link down below to Ladder where we signed up. It took like 4 minutes while we were on the couch, and I'm like, yeah, $1 million policy, what, like $50 a month? Yep, no problem. We'll just go ahead and sign up on that right now. Like, just saying, like some of you had been asking, we both have a policy, okay? All right, going backwards here, the first purchase I made was I bought 151 shares of AT&T stock. AT&T is known as a dividend aristocrat. I've never been super interested in dividend stocks because I don't like paying taxes. And unfortunately, when you receive dividends, and even if you reinvest them, because you touch the money, you still pay taxes. So I'm not the biggest fan of dividends, but I actually do see AT&T as a temporary growth stock, just mostly because I feel like they've been pretty undervalued here. I'm not gonna go super into the technicals. If you would like me to go super technical, let me know. Like, I'd love to open up some of the earnings reports and just try to break them down in a simple way. I just don't know if anybody's interested in that. Anyway, I bought that at $27.34. I spent about $4,100 on that AT&T stock. Right now, the dividend yield is 7.4%. And AT&T has a very, very long history of increasing their dividend. That's basically what a dividend aristocrat is. Long history of increasing their dividend. It's been around for a long time. There's a small expectation that the dividend would actually go away, but they probably wouldn't do that because that would kind of punish their reputation of having that dividend. Which, by the way, and this is mind-blowing to me about AT&T, I have 2 internet service providers in this property. I have Spectrum, which is 1 gig download, and I don't know, it only gets like 30 megabits per second upload. It takes a while. It takes like 20 minutes to upload a YouTube video. It's kind of frustrating. And I was having a lot of issues with live streams. I've replaced every router and modem and every piece and it's been ridiculous. Anyway, this is about AT&T though. So I signed up for AT&T and I got gig down and they match 1 gig up. So now when I drop in a video that would take 20 minutes to upload with Spectrum, it literally uploads in 30 seconds. It's insane. Like, Graham Stephan actually came over here, and this was his reaction when he saw the AT&T speed on the upload of the video.
All right, what are we doing?
So we're going to be testing the internet speed between Spectrum and AT&T. We just uploaded a 30-minute video on Spectrum. It takes about 28 minutes. So Kevin says that AT&T is going to take what? Seconds?
My guess is this, because this is a large file. How large did we say it was? It was 31 minutes long. Let's see. 31 minutes long, and the file size is 2.34 gigs. My guess is on AT&T this should be 2 minutes.
Let's see.
All right, so let's switch over. Hold on. I got my AT&T cable right here, so that's Spectrum. Unplug that. It's gonna suck. Let's watch this 20 minutes.
Let's see.
Upload pending.
Holy crap! Whoa! Oh my god! You aren't kidding. Whoa.
And so both of us are like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I wanted extremely reliable internet for my private live streams because I do those every morning at 9 a.m. with the course members. And AT&T just blew my mind. So I'm very, very impressed that DSL just smoked cable, like hardcore smoked cable. I also have AT&T service on my phone, but it sucks. So maybe those two will like balance each other out. All right, next stock. So the next stock is, I went in on Carnival. I bought some more Carnival stock. I bought Carnival stock at $8.29, about 750 shares, for a total of $6,213. You know, I think personally the risk of a carnival bankruptcy is overblown. I hear some people put carnival bankruptcy at like 50%. I'm like, wow, that's super negative. I also see, some people say even 20%. I personally don't believe it's that high. I do believe there is a risk of a carnival bankruptcy, but they've got enough money to float themselves, for the next 6 to 12 months. And beyond that, we're actually seeing carnival bookings increase already for 2021 because I really think Americans are starting to become more and more interested in cruising. And this has been researched. It's not just me speculating. Millennials are more interested in cruising. Seniors are more interested in cruising. I know things are going to evolve, and it's going to be interesting to see how things change and society changes after this outbreak is over. But it's definitely a stock I'm not afraid of, though. So I did invest more money into Carnival. Much like AT&T, I'm also a user of Carnival. In fact, here's a picture of Lauren, myself, and a Carnival Cruise Line's fun staff member. We had a lot of fun. Big shout out to Celine from Carnival Cruise Lines, although I have to say, isn't it interesting that if you're in the United States now and you were making anything less than basically $30,000 a year, the $600 a week in unemployment basically means you're making over $30,000 per year if you annualize it. Now, I know you're not getting unemployment for that many weeks. You're not getting it for 52 weeks. But it's actually interesting to where I think some people are actually praying to get laid off right now. It's like, dude, please lay me off so I can go collect that $600 check because it's more than what I make working. Crazy times. Here's another one that I'm bullish on, and I've been bullish on this stock for a while, but I've never really gone heavy on them, but I wanted to increase my exposure to them a bit because I do strongly believe in Redfin. This is an extremely long-term play, though. I think it's going to be over 10 years before Redfin really gets a foothold, seriously gets like a deep foothold in the real estate industry, which there's still plenty of time for really high-quality agents to make an amazing living as a real estate agent. So if you want a job, now's a good time to get your real estate license. Which, by the way, whether or not you learn it from me, if you are considering being a real estate agent, know that one of the most powerful things you can do is learn how to make money. That is, what I usually say is, look, if you go through my real estate investing course, and I'm not trying to pitch that, but you go through the investing course, and then you're a real estate agent, and you teach people similar things to what I teach, maybe with your own spin or whatever, and you show people how to make money buying below market value real estate. Like the video I did yesterday. I showed over $2 million worth of real estate that I bought for under $1.5 million. Like that, you show people how to make money, all of a sudden it's like, I want to use you as a real estate agent forever. So if you need a job, think about that. Even if you want a side hustle. Like maybe you're a tech entrepreneur right now, or you know what, you're a doctor. Well, probably not if you're a doctor because y'all work like crazy hours. But a side hustle in real estate, not a bad idea. Even just to, look for some sweet deals every day and get your mind focused on making money. It's a good idea. So anyway, I bought 500 shares of Redfin stock at a price of $13.60. That works out to exactly $6,800 into Redfin. The next stock that I bought was this one might be a little bit more on the spec side. Of the REITs that exist, I did increase my position a bit in the Simon Property Group. I'm not the biggest fan of REITs. I just think they have been way oversold. And most of their board members are buying their stocks right now, which is always a good sign. They're probably getting preferred shares. I should really look into that again. But I've been calculating their book value and kind of looking at some of their underlying assets, like the Sawgrass Mills Mall. This is a mall that actually, look, like them or not, Grant Cardone just bought an apartment building right next, well, not just, like 6 months ago, bought an apartment building right next to the Sawgrass Mills Mall. I grew up at that mall. Now, I personally think Grant Cardone way overpaid for his apartment building, and I'm not the biggest fan of retail right now at all, but I do believe malls have a very rich history coming forward in either last mile delivery when they start converting stores to like Amazon fulfillment stores, and also entertainment centers. Malls are going to be the perfect opportunity for that transition. It's going to be an expensive transition. So don't get me wrong, like I'm not here to tell you that Amazon's not having an impact, but the discount, whew, it just seems like a heavy, heavy discount. Just based on the underlying value of the real estate, not retail itself. So I bought 150 shares of the Simon Property Group at $45.01 for a total of $6,550. Then this was the day before Tesla's numbers came out. I probably wouldn't have made this trade on a Friday, but this was on Thursday before I made my video. I actually increased my position in Tesla by 13 shares. I bought them at $473 for a total of $6,155. So those were some of the recent trades I made, but I know that only accounts for roughly $40,000 of this $300,000 that I've been talking about. So I've got to reveal what I just did. Okay, this is my TD Ameritrade account. I also have some TD Ameritrade accounts for like a SAP, my 401k. I've got one for an HSA, which is the health savings account, where you can get like deductible medical expenses. Really good option. You might want to check that out. I've actually got a link down below for one. I think it's Lively HSA. Really, really good, simple to set up. Anywho, you can see it's been a little bit of a ride over here with stocks, but anyway, this account's worth about $304K. And what I just did to this account, I did to increase my safety, to sort of give me access to more of an emergency fund that's a very, very, in my opinion, kind of safe and inexpensive emergency fund without liquidating all of my stocks. And no, it is not, even though you should do this as well, going down the link below to get your 2 free stocks with Webull. When you deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. No, it is not Webull, although I did send some more money to Webull because I love trading in the mornings, mostly because, like, I woke up this morning and pre-market Delta's down like 10%. I'm like, oh, I bet that's gonna go up. Everything else is up, and I'm like, I should buy some Delta shares right now. And I know this is like trader speculating, right? But I'm like, if the entire market is green, people are gonna look for red stocks and buy the red ones. And